gotta check. Yeah. Uh, we should be live. I haven't gotten a notification from Twitch, but that's not new.
I don't I never know when time frame. One day Twitch was like, "Hey, you know that guy Rolf that you fucking watch all the time and support his channel? Yeah, we're just gonna tell." Oh, there it is.
Yeah, the only people that I watch and I'm subscribed to.
Yeah, I don't get a fucking thing for it.
Yeah, I definitely don't want.
They update.
I definitely don't want a notification. You know, the notification that I both followed for and subscribed for. You know, I definitely don't want a
Yeah,
notification for that. Definitely not. I don't. I don't want to know.
yeah.
Yeah. Why would I want to know that? Why would I want to know about the person that I have explicitly told you that I give a shit about on this platform twice, not even just once? It's
But
it's like YouTube where it's like follow and subscribe and ring the bell, and it's like I should only have to do one of those things for you to notify me. Just one.
yeah,
It's like not more.
yeah. I just don't understand why it's so weird. Like I get notifications for other people that I might have like just casually started following, but don't watch as
Yeah.
much as like roll. And Twitch still sends me updates when they fucking go live.
Yeah,
That's
I've
why
got
I'm like so confused. I'm like, because I didn't change anything. I just don't get updates when Rolf goes live at all.
yeah,
If it wasn't for his Discord, I wouldn't know. I would
so
never know that he
it's
was
so annoying.
on the stream.
Like like especially because they have this like hyper advanced algorithm. It's like you know what my watch time is for like different channels. Why are you
Right.
not notifying me on my most watched channel? It's just stupid. Like
Yeah, it's very
I
weird.
can't stand it. But what we were talking about before we went live, because we're always talking for like an hour before we start recording anything.
Yeah,
that's
Evan's like, we should probably just record this.
that's where the best podcast lives.
Yeah, it's the one you don't hear.
Yeah. What we were talking about is my family being completely ignorant to video games, and me and my cousin's husband. We talk about games all the time, and it's like we're speaking Greek. They have no idea what we're talking about, which is hilarious because the video game industry could buy and sell the movie industry like 5 to 10 times over, and so many people are just ignorant of it completely. But yeah, then you were saying about what you're watching Twisted Metal
Yeah,
and Fallout.
well, yeah. So I'm watching my like I said on the other podcast, our video game knowledge is straight up like, oh, I love Super Mario Brothers 3. I can kick your ass in Mario Kart. And you can. Pretty good at it. But that's where it all ends
Yeah, it's
for her.
hard stop.
Yeah, like I mean, she likes to say she's like, oh, I'm not critical of when you play. She does. I think deep down, and I think a lot of people are like this that don't realize that video games, the target demographic is children.
No,
I don't think they know that.
Children don't have money.
Yeah, and exactly. But I was like, it's the target demographic is us. You know that, right? And she's never. When I've said that, she's never fucking really listened. And then we were sitting there, or at least I don't think she was listening. She probably doesn't care because she's been on fucking video games for a day.
Yeah,
Which I get to a certain extent because we can get carried away. But
ridiculous.
we were watching. Yeah, we were watching. We were watching like Fallout or Twisted. It was one of them. We watched them pretty much back to back, and all of them were. This is like super fun crap.
Hold on, you're falling off.
And,
I can't hear
you. Some of the violence in that show is like, or most of the violence in that show is like pretty crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the way. Yeah. Yes is the answer.
Yep.
And And she was just like, "What?" Like, Jesus Christ! And I looked at her and I was like, "I told you." I was like, "This shit is not for children at all."
No.
I was like, "This." I was like, "Video game industry is an adult-driven industry."
Yeah, it's like it was a big deal when like the Bluey game came out. Like, you know, do you know what Bluey is? I assume you do.
I do not. I do not.
So Bluey is like this really popular Australian cartoon.
I was gonna lie to not sound like a total fucking idiot, but
Yeah,
I'll
well,
let you.
really popular cartoon. It's a family of dogs. It's called Bluey. It was a big deal when the Bluey game came out, and it like wasn't trash. Like, it was a purpose built, thoughtful, good game for kids. Like, that was a huge deal because like those games don't exist. Like, games for kids are like toys. They're garbage. Like, they are completely disposable nonsense. And so like it was a big deal when the Bluey game came out and it wasn't just fucking Drek. And they were like, "Yeah, well, like we're taking our time and we're putting money into it because like if we don't, parents won't buy it because parents today understand video games. So like if it's trash, like people don't feed their kids candy anymore. They're not going to let their kid play something with no educational or story value. They're just not going to." And I'm like, damn, I'm like, that's like very well thought out in an industry that can be very bad at that.
Yeah.
So
No, for sure.
I was very impressed. But yeah, that like games are made for the 18 to 25 demographic, like 100%. So, but yeah, people don't know that. Like, if you're not a gamer, they just don't know.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm not sitting down a fucking 7-year-old and putting in Alan Wake 2 and being like, "Hey, kid, go for it." It's gonna terrify.
Yeah, that
And
would be awful.
it's gonna terrify them. They're not gonna understand what's going on for the most part because words,
Yeah.
and they're children. And like, you know what? I know it's got a level of violence, but as you always say, long live fucking Fortnite. I Fortnite is my favorite game that I've never played because it keeps
Yeah,
children out of the games I do play.
Fortnite is game of the year every year for my money.
Yeah.
For people that don't know what I'm talking about, I love Fortnite. I've never really played Fortnite, and I don't care to. But it how much nicer has every lobby that you've been in since Fortnite came out? Like, all of the children are gone. It's a playpen. I love it because
Yeah, it's great.
because
I love Fortnite. Fortnite's great.
all of the adults are playing the games that I care about, and all of the children are playing Fortnite. Which, like, it's fine. I don't care. Like, let them have their game. Like, it keeps them out of mine, and I don't have to listen to like a fucking screeching 12-year-old who can't wrap their head around the fact that this game isn't a Twitch shooter. Like, have you like games that are made for that younger crowd, like Call of Duty is an M-rated game made for children, which makes sense.
Agreed.
It's essentially a military recruitment ad. Military recruitment ads are pointed at people that are under the age of 18. But
As they should be.
yeah, exactly. This is from two vets, by the way. But like that, have you ever tried to like watch like Apex Legends, Fortnite, or Call of Duty, like a pro play that game? Like,
No, not at all. I am so far removed from all of them. like I've seen certain things on like just passing, like reels and shit, like
Yeah.
highlight. Like, it's pretty much why I know how Fortnite kind of works
Yeah.
because I've never played it. It's just passing by a little 30-second video or something.
Yeah, you know it through osmosis essentially.
Yeah,
But like um if you think Rainbow Six or what's another slower one, or Counter-Strike is hard to watch, this stuff is awful. It's so bad. Like, it is the worst watching experience I've ever seen. Like, I know what's going on, and I'm still like, Jesus Christ, this is terrible. It's just, like, the constant, like, movement tech where they're, like,
yeah.
sliding, and, like, I hate that shit. Like, if you have to constantly be shifting your camera, like, in order to, like, just move around efficiently, like, it's so annoying. It's unwatchable.
It might be the most old man thing I've ever fucking said, but like even those 30-minute clips start giving me a fucking headache.
It like don't like I it sounds like an old man complaint, but like I've always felt that way. I'm like, this is unwatchable. Like, it's a terrible viewing experience. Like, I don't know why people enjoy it at all. Like, it's like, how do you like to watch this? It's like, this is unpleasant to look at. And I've always felt that way.
Is that just Fortnite, or does that go with Call of Duty?
Well, it's any game that you would call a movement shooter. Fortnite's bad because you have to like rip your camera around to like build really quickly, and so that's annoying to look at. And then like Apex Legends or Call of Duty, it has so much movement tech that if you're not doing it, you're not moving as efficiently as possible or quickly as possible or making yourself an easier target. So even when you're like not doing anything, it behooves you to do this shit. So like
Right.
at a pro level, they're obviously always doing it. They're professionals. And it is so unpleasant to look at. And like because like if they had like a floating cam where you could watch, that would be fine. But like the fact that you're riding along with them sucks. It is awful. It's always sucked. Like Halo, like even with all like the sci-fi nonsense, like Halo was always a better viewing experience. And like yeah, it's like why like Call of Duty is the biggest game in the world, essentially. And yet, it's never been a huge deal when it comes to esports. And my opinion has always been the reason it's never been a huge deal to esports is because it is a terrible viewing experience. And like
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's awful.
Granted, I might have walked away from the game just because their community is toxic as fuck. But I will say about Smite is it is highly watchable on the pro level.
Yeah,
like it's actually a really entertaining and exciting experience to watch that. If you understand what's going on and you're a fan of the game, it's really good.
Well, the camera is stable. It's always stable behind the character.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is that their presentation, they have a very robust spectator mode. Like whenever someone is playing, there's a person who's like they have multiple cameramen, which is like something you just can't really do in these other games.
Right.
So they have one guy as like a floating above the field camera, and then they have the guy who's swapping between what each person is looking at. Yeah, it's just a bad viewing experience. Speaking of which, do you know what the USFL what they're doing with their cameras? It's really cool looking.
No, I haven't. I have yet to see any
They
USFL.
they
Just because I don't really watch cable much, and I don't know where to find it on the screen.
they have a drone cam
Ooh, I like it.
that like it hovers like right above the players. So like when the quarterback throws the ball, like essentially because the drone pilots must be really good, by the way.
Oh, they have to be.
Because
could you imagine interfering?
well, I saw one, and the dude literally is behind the quarterback. The quarterback throws the ball. He rides the ball with the drone
Get the fuck out
to
of
the
here.
receiver. So it's like you're.
Oh my god!
It's like you're in a third
I gotta
person.
see that.
It's like you're in the third person perspective of the ball. It's fucking incredible. It's like a Madden game. It's so cool looking. But yeah, they've got these really awesome drone shots, and I'm like, man, the NFL needs to steal this ASAP because this is
More
awesome.
roles?
Like it's so cool. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, it should be.
but yeah, that drone cam is out of control awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out because I have yet I had planned to give it a shot like ever since the rebirth. I just haven't found anywhere to watch it because of the HOA and shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're not gonna ride long. I need to call that our fucking force upon us cable company to see if I can switch again.
Yeah.
Because for some reason I went back to strict. I keep forgetting to do that.
They probably have it like built in somehow.
Yeah, probably.
Some dumb
but,
shit.
I just need to call them. There's a ticket. They have paperwork. It says like there's supposed to be a ticket, and they did do it. I just don't know why it reverted that.
It's probably some automatic thing that they need to turn off.
Yeah. But apparently Amanda talked to him for me because I was playing at work, and apparently one of the guys is he's also a gamer. He's like, he'll understand.
Yeah.
And I was like, got it. I was like, yeah, no, for sure. So I just gotta call to do that.
But
what were we saying?
The drone drone cam.
The drone, yeah, and I just barely ever switch over that game. Only sometimes.
But
so I'm sure I've had the opportunity to watch that shit, but
I think it's the coolest shit. Like it is so fucking like it's just fucking cool looking. Like like riding the ball like that and having just all that shit.
It's just a new perspective you never see.
Yeah, it's like
never seen that.
I think it's funny that the NFL is like so stale that like they were late to like they haven't really ever invented the new good camera angle. Like
yeah, but I mean I get that, and they put some cameras on the by the pylons and stuff like that, and they have like adapted a little bit as far as some overhead views.
Yeah,
but I mean it's the NFL, bro. It's they break in a bunch. They don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah,
people are gonna watch.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's probably part of the reason they're probably scared to. People don't like this, which is dumb because you're the fucking NFL. You're just you have more money than God. Drones are not overly expensive. Pay the pilots. It's still not going to break you.
Yeah.
Let them fucking do it. If people don't like it, it's only one season. They'll get over it. You're not going to lose people that have been fans of an NFL team for their entire lives over one season where you tried an overhead
Yeah.
drone thing. Like, it's just, you're not going to lose everybody, so you might as well try it.
But yeah, I had never seen that before, and I was like, damn. I'm like, that's the cool. I'm like, that is the tightest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, that is so impossibly good. But yeah, I just caught that. I just caught that the other day, and it was fucking. I'm like, god damn, that's awesome.
Hey, man, somebody's got to do it. I wonder how that's going. I'm gonna have to look that up. Like, I remember like leading up to a lot, especially with the Rock's involvement and stuff. I got a lot of like articles about that league
Oh, I
and
mean,
stuff, and that just kind of just went to the waste. I don't know. I don't know how it did or it's doing. I have no clue.
well, I mean, part of the problem is that it is associated with The Rock, and people have kind of turned on him. He's gotten a lot of flack lately for kind of habitually lying for no reason.
That's new. I didn't know about this.
Yeah, he lies about a lot of weird stuff. Like he's like he lied about like for example, like how weird and like kind of petty his lies can be is like he lied about having never been to In-N-Out. And
Well, like In-N-Out Burger?
yeah. And like it's stuff
That's
like
strange.
it's stuff like that, and like kind of people have kind of gotten over, like they're kind of annoyed that he's essentially like a walking advertisement. And yeah, people are just kind of over him,
Done with it?
apparently. Yeah, it's really weird. They've like he hasn't really changed anything, but they're just like, eh. But
Yeah, it doesn't. Rock doesn't bother me.
yeah,
Like, I think he's. I think he's obviously improved as an actor.
yeah.
And I think he's
I
pretty
th-
good actor, especially
yeah,
after Pain and Gain. But I mean, overall, I mean, The Rock has been The Rock to me. Like, I mean, all that shit that you're informing me of, like these like little tiny lies for no reason, or yeah, it's weird. Hey, man, dude's got more money than God. Maybe he's just trying to feel alive. I don't know, but he's just never, he's just never bothered me. Like, it doesn't bother me
yeah.
at all.
It doesn't bother me either. And like oh, Rolk just said like 80% of his Instagram posts are ads, and it's like, yeah, that's all of them though.
Yeah, that dude's a fucking
Like,
whatever. He's a fucking businessman. I
yeah,
mean, and
but
you know what? I've also seen videos that he's posted. Like, I passed one the other day because playing heel in the WWE, and I think it was WrestleMania was about to kick off. Fucking, it was some kid's birthday, some tiny kid, and he fucking just wearing the Rock shirt and fucking the whole nine. The kid, he brings him up on stage, takes a picture with him, asks him, "Hey, do you want to take a picture?" And he's all like, "Yeah, can my brother get in it?" And then this other kid fucking gets up there, and he's like really sweet to these kids. Like,
yeah,
I don't have like nothing The Rock has done has soured me on him at all. I think like I don't give a fuck if he lies about never being in and out.
yeah. Well,
Like,
it's
that's nothing to me.
it to my estimation, it's more that people are like a little weirded out by it, and I think the other thing is that I think people, especially people who follow wrestling and are interested in it, I think everybody is kind of gun shy because of Hogan. Like this is how it started with Hogan too. Is that he just started lying about little stuff, and like it's like that stuff snowballed into big stuff, and
Right. Yeah, I guess
and
that's a
like
good
I think everybody's a little gun shy about that, about just being like, it's like, are we gonna have another one of these guys who is just like full of shit for no reason?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get that, and I see it. It's a good point. I just, I mean, I don't follow the dude hardcore or anything,
Yeah,
but I'm generally aware when he's involved with something. Um, but yeah, I mean, nothing that he's done has
no,
necessarily
I
fucking turned me off to being a fan.
yeah, I don't have an issue with him either. But like, am I watching him a little bit closer than I was before? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, after you made your point, right there, and you broke it down, I get it.
Yeah, like
Like, I get why people might be a little turned off by it,
yeah, and
especially with the history and everything. But
but it's but it's also like people are really kind of oblivious to like
why
how.
does that look like that? It's so weird. Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
yeah, no problem.
Gee, oh my God, there's this underbroom that I curated, and we just did it, and it looks like $1 million on screen, but the print is just so
It's just fucked.
fucking blown. Yeah, it's like blown out. I don't
Hmm.
even know what to do with this. Kind of weird. I'll take a look in a bit. Don't worry about that. It's just a solo hat. I'll make sure that's right, and if I can't get it, it's from the patriotic collection. So I'll ask him if he wants to pivot to another one. If it doesn't work out, because that's actually the first time anybody's ever bought that one.
Trying to screw over a patriot. I hear you.
What are you laughing at?
I say y'all trying to screw over a patriot. I see what you do.
I know. Yeah, no, yeah, I did the whole. Oh my God, it was so fucking funny because I did the patriotic collection, and it's a lot of Southern stripes. This is what it is. There's different variations of it. I'm okay with that. It was a fun one to put together, but I actually I did custom underbrims for all of the military brands,
Mhm.
including Space Force,
Oh yeah,
and
including Space
it is
Force.
so funny. Yeah, I was like, I will lose my fucking mind if somebody buys a fucking Space Force hat.
God, how happy do you think the Coast Guard is about the Space Force existing?
Probably.
They must be ecstatic that they're not the joke anymore.
I know. Yeah, that's probably part of it. They probably are pretty happy about not being the
Not
the redheaded stepchild of the military.
not being the
But
absolute clown shoes of the military anymore.
yeah, but yeah, man. When I don't view them as clown shoes. The only reason people do that is because they're much less combat oriented than the rest of us. So I think that's why they're viewed that way. But if you want to, by all means, Mister, want to talk shit about the Coast Guard. If you want to go up to Alaska
Yeah.
and jump into violent waters to save a fisherman,
Oh yeah.
and you can do that efficiently and get yourself and that person out alive, be my fucking guest.
Oh yeah. No, like I've like
It's just a different type of badass is
yeah,
all
like
it is.
yeah, like I've I clown on the Coast Guard, but I was the first one beaten on the table for Nico to be like, look, if you want to do some high speed shit, the Coast Guard does high speed shit.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I told him. Bro, I told him he's like, and I got what he was where he was coming from. Like, I told him at the end of the day, I was like, bro, you want to join whatever fucking branch you want. I'm not gonna. Uncle Ryan is not gonna fucking fuck with you. I'm gonna
I
support you. I'm just giving you my opinion.
yeah,
And
well, I will say
yeah, he was
this:
solid.
if you joined the Marines and you wanted to be anything except infantry, you fucked up. Like,
Oh yeah.
like,
No. He wanted to be a
yeah, well, like that's, but I mean, no, he didn't. Like, and like that's the
no.
thing.
If he was to join, that was what he was planning to do.
Yeah, but that's what I mean is that it's like, no, no, you don't. Like, you don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
You think
Uh,
you know?
Yeah, no, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about sleeping in the dirt, Rolk. I just, it's just the rest of you are soft. it,
Nice.
it's
Soft.
no, it's just that like it. If you join the Marines, you're just opening yourself up to be like totally fucked over. Like they can they can pull your they can pull your contract. They can fuck with you so hard, and like it's not mentioned in a way that you don't get a sword. Let's be clear about that. You're not fighting a lava monster. You don't get a
Oh my
sword.
god, how many? We've been talking about this for fucking years. I was like, how fucking genius are
That
these assholes? Like that was such a good ad.
that
I'm like, you know
that
what?
Marines
Let's get this
ad
fucking dungeon,
that
get the
Marines ad
Dungeons and Dragons
fucks
crowd.
so hard.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
No, you get a sword if you're an officer, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not giving
there's something. And you're not wearing a fucking sword on duty, dude. That's just symbolic.
they're not
fucking
they're not giving grunts swords. You'd hear about that every year if they gave the grunts swords with their dress uniform.
Yeah, bro. Have if they give those fuckers swords and let them go, the Marine Corps.
Yeah, the Marines. The Marines.
Like think about what you're fucking saying, man. You want them to give swords to the guys that you don't want to go party with. For the only reason you'll have a great time, but you'll probably end up in jail.
Yeah,
you don't want to give those guys swords and release them on the battlefield. Pretty sure war crimes are definitely gonna happen.
See, that's the thing. Release them on the battlefield, sure, but as part of their dress uniform? No, absolutely not.
They're gonna get drunk and stab each other.
No, you don't. You get, if you are an officer or a higher ranking NCO, I believe you get a sword. But like, you know, Joe Snuffy Private does not get a sword. That is not how that works.
Well, you can have one, but you're gonna have to buy it with your own money, and you're not gonna be able to wear it on duty. So what do you care?
Yeah, you're never gonna be able to use it. Like, yeah, they don't give you a sword. Like, you can't just be some asshole and get a sword. You need to be somebody that matters. But yeah, it's just a bad. It's a bad one to join, like, and you don't know that really unless you like know people who are really familiar with the military, or or really do your research. Like, you don't know they can fuck you over on a contract. You don't know that, you know, all of their bases suck an incredible amount of dick, even compared to the Army. Like, they are...
No, it completely does. They have the worst standard of living.
They are hilariously underfunded. If you have two brain cells to rub together, like, their tactics are archaic compared to normal military tactics. Like, thankfully, the Marines are smart enough that they don't use those tactics. Yeah, we absolutely do need the Marines, Rolk. But, I mean, technically, you could probably have the Army do it, but it's...
What did he say about needing Marines? We definitely need Marines. Yeah, I love the Marines.
He's like, do we need Marines? Marines? Yeah, yes. We absolutely need them, but, like, again, like, they're written down tactics, which, again, the United States doesn't... The United States doesn't really follow its tactical manuals anyway, but, like, if the Marines actually followed their SOP written down tactics, they'd be totally fucked. Luckily, they're smart enough not to. But yeah, it's just, they don't need to be in the position that they're in, and they just kind of are. Like, it's like, the Marines are kind of in the same position right now as the Air Force. Like, if the Army wanted to replace them, they could. Like, you know, we could... The reason the Marines existed in the first place is because they needed people to leave the boat and fight. And their training was explicitly about that. But so much of what they do now is very similar to how Army infantry fights. So, like, the Army could very much train their people to do that job. In the same way that, like, there's an Army Air Corps. The Air Force exists because the Army decides not to recruit pilots and build up their own Air Force. Like, because the Navy has their own pilots. They have their own fighter pilots. If the
they're bad boys too.
It's
bad boys and girls.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why, like, it's part of the reason why the A-10 stayed in service for so long, is that the A-10 stayed in service because the Raptor wasn't ready for close air support missions, and the Army desperately needed close air support. So when they were, like, threatening to retire it, it's why the Army was like, if you retire it, we're going to buy it from you, and we're going to start recruiting pilots, and we have more money than you. And essentially they threatened to put the Air Force out of business. And the Air Force is a business, and so they didn't want that. Because the Army would have essentially absorbed the Air Force again. So they kept... And so they kept the A-10 in service, which...
Zoomies don't want that smoke.
Yeah, Zoomies do not want to be... Zoomies do not want to be involved with what we're putting down. But...
Not all of them, anyway. Few of them, but most of them.
Yeah, like 10 of them in the entire service.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I worked with one. He was a crusty old Texan. I loved him.
But fucking Space Force. That is the dumbest shit I have ever heard. When you, like, go down the list of politicians, like, doing dumb shit for no reason, Space Force is up there for me. Like...
Yeah, I looked at Space Force, and I was like, so we have this really cool thing that's been in existence for a while called the Air Force.
Yeah,
right?
They do that already.
Yeah, they do this stuff already, and they're established, and now you're going to dump fucking God knows how much amount of money creating a whole new branch that is not needed.
Yeah, that's completely unnecessary.
It made no sense. And then the audacity to be like, you know what, we're going to make our fucking logo.
Yeah, we're gonna steal Star Trek's logo. That is absurd.
Boom, Space Force. Like, honestly, if you would have pitched that to me as a fucking, hey bro, check it. I want to do a comic book, comedy, action, fucking, space opera thing, and we're gonna call it Space Force.
I would have told you it's a good idea, but the name is too stupid.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my whole point. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna change it just enough so we don't get sued, but I'm gonna make the logo.
Instead of the Air Force, it's the Space Force.
Space Force. Get it?
And it's
fucking,
got
oh god.
And it's gonna be Star Trek, but U.S. military. It's like this is.
No, I don't want to shit. I don't want to shit on anybody in the Space Force, but
I do.
You should join another branch.
Yeah, I do. You're a fucking nitwit, and if you join the Space Force, you must be an absolute, like, turbo nerd, like.
Dude, I don't know, but I want to see if they have any civilian jobs for graphic design, because that would be the easiest fucking job ever.
Yeah, I mean...
Space Force, with what they already have, I'm like, oh, this is make Star Trek looking shit.
Yeah. Great. You're lucky you're the government, or you'd be sued out of your pants.
Pretty much. it's yeah. No, Space Force shit.
So dumb.
Every time I see it, I
It
just giggle.
it's
It's just so funny.
it's literally Trump not understanding that just because it's called the Air Force, that doesn't mean that they only handle stuff in the air. Like
Yeah,
that is why Space Force exists. Is just a complete misunderstanding of what the Air Force does.
just a buffoon.
Yeah,
It's
just
absolute.
absolute fucking mouth breather. I earned my money. My daddy didn't give it to me. It's like, nah, I doubt that. It's like, based on the fact that you were the president and didn't know that the Air Force handled space operations, I'm gonna doubt that you were smart enough to make that money on your own. And, like, there's probably other things I could cite. I don't feel like I need to. I feel like that's enough.
Yeah, no, it's true. Or that, I mean, you're right. I don't think you really need.
It's like,
Um,
I feel like that's more than sufficient material.
yeah, whatever. We got, the guy currently in office. During his election run, thought he was running for like state senate or something. So he doesn't know where the fuck he is.
Oh man,
But these are America's best and brightest right here.
apparently they're
Apparently,
yeah,
leading us into the future. Trump and this decrepit old fuck.
they're not the best and brightest. They're the ones who corporations are puppeting them up to their elbow up their ass. But
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, my favorite part about Biden is that he no one ever brings up all of the speeches that he's plagiarized. Because he had my favorite part though. My favorite part is when he plagiarized an apology speech for plagiarizing. That was fucking chef's kiss.
Oh my god!
I don't give a
dude.
fuck about any of this, but I have to pretend like I am. Politic move, and I loved it. That was such a fucking alpha Giga Chad dick on the table move that I still find it funny. And it's like, yo, I'm gonna apologize for plagiarizing by plagiarizing that speech. Incredible.
Bro, he's not He's not even the one writing the goddamn speech. He's got somebody doing it for him. So somebody's just fucking with him.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that's even funnier. Like, I mean, that's yeah, like I mean, the vice president and her crew, like, they hate her. Like, they sabotage her constantly, and I find it very funny. Like, she went somewhere to, like, honor, like, she was in Vietnam and, like, honoring the Vietnam War veterans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, I forget exactly how it shook down, but she was at some kind of memorial site in Vietnam, and it's the site that was celebrating where John McCain got shot down.
Oh, okay.
And I guess nobody warned her. I mean, obviously nobody warned her about it, but I'm like, damn, they set you up to fail and just eat your own dick. I'm like, you really need to fire your team because they hate you. I'm like, but that's funny as fuck.
Shit, man. I mean, for being just so not interested in all these child molesters and politics, I am extremely just, ignorance is bliss because in order to not being like you guys are all just huge fucking dummies and saving myself from all that fucking, internal thinking.
The misery of knowing that these absolute morons are in charge of our nukes.
Yes. So I just stay out of it. I'm just like, whatever. I'm ignorant, and I'll say as much because I choose to stay that way.
Yeah,
But I mean, I still get shit up on my news feed, all the time. Just shit that comes up, regular politics. I get shit for Trump, even though I'm not a fucking Republican. I get fucking shit for Biden, even though I'm not a fucking Democrat or independent. And What's that, sweetie? Yeah, that's it should be a 55, I believe. Let me see. So I think I wrote it here. Yeah, or a 54. Yeah, I got it.
But
Yeah, everything that's here should be it. The only thing that you probably press the underbrims for is the CHC company. Don't worry, like you can put these on everything because we're definitely sending this batch of hats. But he did tell me that he was going to. No, I think
yeah,
it's this. Oh, these look like shit
yeah, we're
too.
all
This is not the way this looks.
that's what politics will do.
Oh, this is
It'll
bad.
it'll make you depressed
I don't know why it looks like
and
this.
disappointed. It's because these people
No,
are
don't worry about it. But don't worry about this because I think he's gonna I think he's gonna order more, so we can send them all in one box. Because he said he was interested, he just hasn't placed an order yet. So this isn't even due out for like probably till next Monday. So I'm just giving him a little bit of time before we send this. Save him a little money on, save us a little money on shipping.
But Rolk, being depressed and
but that's fine. But yeah, don't worry about it. I'll take care of this somehow.
About politics, that means you're paying attention. That you're understanding what's happening. Yeah, because it is depressing and disappointing. Because these people suck. So,
but I will say, for seeing all that shit occasionally on my newsfeed, I haven't seen the vice president on my newsfeed at all. It's like after he got elected, it was almost like she was just gone.
It's because they are like actively like she got absolutely nuked in the primaries. And like all this video showed up like she essentially put a single mother away for weed and then like was laughing about it, and like everybody hated that obviously.
Right.
So yeah, she is roundly disliked.
Well, I guess that makes more sense.
Like,
keep her out of the public eye so they don't end up hating the entire administration.
Pretty much. Like, she is probably like, if I had to give like one of the primary reasons that like, even with Trump going through all the insane nonsense and people still backing him, which is fucking
it's so impressive.
It's so much team sport nonsense that this dude can.
It really is.
That this dude can lose trial after trial after trial and have to pay out so much money for being a fucking scumbag, and somehow half the country is like, oh, he's gonna be our big white Christian savior. It's like, are you eating stupid pills? Like, it's like, how inbred are you that you think that? Like, it's crazy to me. It's like, yes, he is a politician. He isn't your friend. I don't know why this is news to you. But yeah, well, part of the reason why
these assholes holding flags and holding up my traffic, and I drive a stick shift.
Yeah.
So all you guys in Florida that are out, I don't care if you're got flags for Trump or fucking some new candidate or fucking I don't care. What I'm telling you is I hate you the most. I hope you all die. And if you hold me up in traffic because some other dipshits are slowing down to either give you the bird or fucking honk and cheer you on, I don't care. I don't care about those people either. Hopefully they die on the way home.
Yeah.
If you hold me up in traffic, I don't want to share oxygen with you. I hope you all perish in a very terrible way. I'm going to say that openly on the internet.
Yeah.
I hope your death is excruciating.
I agree.
And I hope it comes quick and sudden. And you're like, what's happening to me? And then you were tortured with your own pain for fucking weeks on end.
I hope God and hell is real so that you specifically can go there.
Stop holding me up in traffic.
Yeah.
If my left leg hurts because I have to change gears that much,
Yeah.
You need to die.
I
Go fuck yourself.
I hate you
I'm
the
just
most.
trying to get home.
Yeah.
I don't care about your politics. I'm sure you think your opinions are interesting. They are not, and I don't care. I
It's
don't
like
care what side
just
of the fence you
yeah, your
you
opinion is
you
super
are actively
uninteresting.
cheering for China.
Yeah, yeah, it's like
Like,
that's straight facts right there.
what kind of time and money do you have
Yeah,
that you can fucking and in the Florida heat fucking stand over an overpass and hold up my neck?
yeah. More importantly, like
Get a fucking job or something.
more importantly, it's like
Start knitting. I don't care.
it,
Just get off the fucking street.
if you make under $1 million, you think any of these people give a flying fuck about you? They don't.
You're retarded.
Yeah, you have a learning disability. Like, I don't think you should be allowed to vote if you think that these people care about you. Like, I have roughly two metrics. Like, I think you should be allowed to vote for like the first 10 years, and then they should audit you. And if you've only
and see how you do.
well, and if you've only ever voted for one party, you shouldn't be allowed to vote anymore.
Oh yeah, because you're just voting on party.
Yeah,
People could say anything, and you'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, like you're a fucking idiot, and you don't deserve to be able to vote, and they should just take it from you. I would fully support that decision.
Hey, carry it. I got a call. My boss is calling me. I'll be back in.
Yeah. I feel the same way about scratch off people at the gas station holding up the line. Yeah, no, you are a degenerate if you're. I mean, does Kevin do that? I have questions, but I mean, Pennsylvania is super annoying because, so like I moved back here and they've always had weird liquor laws. Like you can't, like, it's only been fairly recently where you can buy beer in the gas station, for Christ's sake. But like, so we still have all these like dumb shit liquor laws, but you can have a slot machine in a gas station. Like, that is peak degeneracy. Like, gambling in a gas station is some fucked up degenerate behavior. Like, it would be classier if they sold crack instead of allowed slot machines. Like, it's awful. I despise it. Oh yeah, when I first came back, I walked into a gas station and I was looking around and I'm like, where's the beer at? And the guy looked at me, and this is very funny. It was on point for him. I'm like, where's the beer at? And he looked at me. He's like, where do you think you are? And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, I forgot that it's like this. But yeah, so we're super up our own asses about that. But, you know, God forbid that we're just gonna let people gamble in gas stations in front of fucking children. Yeah, I mean, you can get liquor in Florida gas stations. Like, they're super backwards about that kind of stuff up here, which I was okay with for a while because it's like, okay, it's fine. It's just kind of how it is. But once they allowed slot machines in gas stations, I'm like, fuck off. Like, if this absolute bullshit is allowed, how are you going to sit there with a straight face and be like, oh, we got to be strict about alcohol because it's a detriment to society or a vice or whatever, but you're gonna let people use a slot machine at a fucking Wawa? Like, That is insane thinking to me. I don't know how you can allow that to happen. But, you know, it just kind of, it is that way for no reason that makes sense to me. But I don't know. They need to change that shit. It's just stupid. Luckily, that is kind of happening. The guy that we just put in office, our governor, he's been changing a lot of stuff, and he's been doing a pretty good job. He's taken away a lot of the stupid shit, like like a lot of the degrees that used to be required for a lot of state and federal jobs. He's like gotten rid of because, you know, a having a bachelor's degree does not make you qualified. Like that's not how that works. I think it used to, but definitely not anymore. Oh, did Herrera win that seat? I know he was running, but I didn't know he'd won. It wouldn't surprise me if he won. If he was gonna win anywhere, he was gonna win in Texas. But yeah, like oh, it's a runoff. I mean that's still not bad. He's some YouTuber, so I mean it's not a bad, not a bad, not a terrible turnout for him. Yeah, yeah. And if anything, like given more time, well, and the fact that his audience is our generation, and we don't vote. Wonder why that is. Like, for every year, it's like rock the vote, and we need to get more young people voting. It's like, yeah, there's a good reason why we don't vote. It's like because there's been no inspiring leader for us to vote for. Like, do I want to vote for Trump or Biden? Fuck no. I don't want to vote for either of them. Like, I don't want to think about them. I don't want them. I just don't. I don't know why you would want them. Like, somehow you have a worse head injury than me if you do. But I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, people were like, I mean, look at what happened when Obama ran. Like, people were super stoked about him. He got a ton of young people to vote. I mean, I don't think that lasted into his second term because, he was different. He wasn't that different. Which is just kind of what it is. But, yeah, like, if you are excited about voting for either Trump or Biden, there's something fucking wrong with you. Like, your brain does not work properly. No shot. Hold on. I think Diaz is gone. Let me double check. It might be a solo act. But yeah, it's like there's nobody that like people want to vote for. Like it's just not something people are excited about. And I don't know how you can blame them for it. Because it's not exciting. It's not something people want to be involved in. No, you're alright. I'm just shooting the shit. But yeah, it's like I haven't seen a person I'd actually want to follow run for the damn thing. Possibly ever. And it's just like, yeah, I don't understand why people are excited about it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, it's just dumb. I don't get it. But people get all jazzed up about it. They get all worked up like it's the end of the fucking world. It's like, look, they're not inspiring individuals. I get that, and I understand the disappointment, trust me, but they're not going to do anything. Like it's business as usual, which is like what sucks the most about it. Is that nothing's going to be different. It's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be, they're going to be super pro big business. They're going to make as little waves as humanly possible. And they're going to try to make money for the people that already have more money than God. Oh no. like that hasn't been the story of American politics for my entire lifetime, if not longer. So I mean, I don't understand how people can get so invested in it and get so worked up about it. 'Cause it's like there's nothing to it. Like, this isn't really interesting. It's just kind of dumb. It's a massive pissing contest between some of the shittiest people on the planet. Yeah, and people get all worked up about it. It's just like, I don't understand it. I never really have. But, people just want their team to win. That's all it is. They don't care about any kind of value system or anything that actually matters. They want they want their team to win. That's it. That's all there is to it. I mean, most Americans only care about like one issue. I think most Americans vote essentially on one or two issues. So, that's all people can really like wrap their head around, which, makes sense. The fact that most people can't really contextualize and don't really have the ability to make a decision that's extremely complex, which is fine. Like, there's tons of stuff that I don't understand, but it's kind of the flaw in democracy, is that you have a bunch of people who have no fucking clue how the world really works and what is necessary to make it run, and they're the ones that are the deciders of who runs the country. So it's like, how could they possibly, make an informed decision? They can't. It's not possible. Yeah, it's play pretend. Like, these people aren't informed. They just have decided that they're either red or blue. And yeah, and that's all of it. It's dumb, but it's not going to change. Like, and when good things happen, it's my team that did it, and we would have done even more good shit if it wasn't for those assholes. Yeah, like both of them aren't wildly corrupt, and even if like they were doing the best thing for America, like, which I'm not sure I buy at all, but the idea that, like, if these people are good Americans who are actually trying to help people, like, they just go about it a different way. Like, the idea that they're not, like, that they're, like, just trying to fuck people over, it's like, that's not really the case. Like, they just have a different method. I mean, I'm lucky to live in a city that, like, dropped all that shit, because I live in a city that wasn't doing very well for a very long time, and they started up something called the Hourglass Society. Essentially, they made they got the idea that, hey, we only have a certain amount of time to save the city. Yeah, if aliens came and killed everyone, we'd be like, oh, thank God. Yeah, that is 100% accurate. But they made the distinction that, hey, we are running out of time to save the city, essentially. And they were like, it doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you are, if you have a good idea, you know, bring it in. Like, we'll figure it out, we'll make a decision, we'll get this done. So all of these political enemies essentially got together and came up with this idea. And, like, I live in Lancaster. Like, the city is doing extremely well and has been ever since, you know, they dropped the politics shit and just did what was best. So it's like there are people out there who are trying to do what's best and actually trying to make things work, but they're just few and far between. Like, there aren't a lot of places, and, like, the fact that it's rare, the fact that I'm like, hey, I'm surprised that you guys could put all this petty bullshit to the side and actually work together, and that be an impressive thing, is sad. That is some sad shit. But I mean, that's American politics. That's kind of the way it's always been. So, you know, whatever. You just get used to it. You try not to get too invested in it. And I feel like a lot of people got invested in it when Trump came around and got their hearts broken, and they were very slow to admit that there was a problem, which I understand, but I think everybody had a moment in the Trump era where they were like, ah, man, we fucked up. It's like, this guy doesn't care at all. But, yeah. So yeah, politics is stupid, and if you're interested in it, you're stupid. That's that's where I've landed. But yeah, it's not something I bother to put a lot of brain power towards, and the fact that so many people like are invested is just like, damn, you don't have anything else in your life, do ya? But yeah, I mean, well, it's one of those things where you definitely feel like you should be informed and you should be involved, because that's always the messaging. The messaging is, oh, like, if you're not informed, if you're not paying attention, if you aren't invested, that you're somehow a worse American for it. Like, that is definitely a that is definitely a theme of politics in general, is that if you're checked out, that it's some kind of failing on your part, that you're the problem. If you don't care about politics, if you don't care about who runs the country, that is not your fault. That is 100% a failing of the people in power. Like, how do you make it so that people don't care how their country is run? Like, being able to run our country is what our founding fathers fought for. And, like, it's just been beaten out of us to the point that most Americans could not conceivably care less. It's like, yeah, that's not the average American's fault. That is, the blame is squarely on the people in charge. And yeah, it's like, so no, if you don't vote, like, don't feel bad. Don't, you're not responsible. It is not your fault. Like, you should not feel bad about not voting or not wanting to vote for these type of people. Like, no, you shouldn't feel bad about that. Like, it is the failing of the Republicans and the Democrats that you don't care, and that you can't be asked to care. Like, yeah, it's nobody's fault. Don't ever feel bad about checking out of politics. Like, it's no one's fault but their own. You know, I'm just waiting to see what happens, like, when all the boomers die. Like, are the 5 people on Twitter gonna vote? Like, is that what's gonna happen? I don't know. I'm interested to find out, but yeah, I don't know how that's gonna shake down. I'm interested, but I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah, it's been beaten out of people. Like, how can you be asked to care at this point? It's annoying. But it doesn't look like Diaz is coming back. And this podcast exists for me to be able to bounce off of someone. So maybe we'll come back and link this shit together when he gets back. But until then, I'm gonna cut it there. We'll come back. We were gonna talk about the whole Drake Kendrick Lamar thing that's been going on that we haven't been able to get to, which I think is super interesting. And again, next time on Dragon Ball Z, we're gonna talk about Drake and his crew being a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood and in the music industry. Shocker. Crazy. Who could have predicted that? Who would have thought that that's where they'd be in the movie industry in Hollywood? Huh. I would have never expected for pedophiles and sexual predators to be there. I mean, it's unprecedented, really. I don't know how you could be expected to see that coming. It's ridiculous. So we're going to talk about that because I'm sure their brains are just as wrinkled as mine at that happening. And like the fact that he used like a 5th grade education to like outdo Drake, where like Drake dropped a diss track and then 20 minutes later, like Kendrick like was aware enough of his own failings that he knew what Drake was going to go after, and so he just recorded one ahead of time and went after Drake even harder. And like everyone was like, I can't believe it, he's playing 4D chess. It's like, no, he has a functioning brain. Like, are all of you so stupid that you think he's impossibly brilliant for figuring this out? It's like, don't get me wrong, it's smart, it's very clever, it's exactly what you should have done, but like, he's not out here playing 4D chess. He's not splitting the atom with figuring this out. Like, I found that whole part very funny. But yeah, we'll probably talk about that. I think Diaz is unloading the truck. I've got a combined changing table armoire that I need to dust. So I'ma do that, and maybe we'll stitch these together in a part 2 in a little bit, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll talk to you later. Later, homies. And for those of you who are apparently watching this nonsense on YouTube, later.